The CIA is now sending buyout offers to the entire agency. Check it out.
Well, first it was the FBI. Now it's the CIA that's facing a major shakeup. America's spies agency is being offered sweeping buyout. That means every CIA staffer can quit in exchange for about 8 months' pay. The move is meant to weed out those who don't support the MAGA agenda. And the buyouts are meant to support the agency's new goals of targeting drug cartels and undermining China. Meanwhile, over at the J. Edgar Hoover building, it's even more tense. The FBI today complied with a DOJ demand to give information on thousands of agents who worked January 6 cases. We're talking about ID numbers and job titles, not names. Several FBI agents even filed a lawsuit accusing the DOJ of conducting a loyalty purge. The acting director of the FBI, Brian Driscoll, has tried to stand in the way, defending the rank and file and becoming somewhat of a G-man folk hero along the way, with AI memes like this one, celebrating him for pushing back on the agency's purge. But soon, Driscoll will have to face his new boss, the newly confirmed Attorney General Pam Bondi, who begins her first full day tomorrow. Lots to get to on all of this tonight with National Security Attorney Mark Zaid and former top counterterrorism executive at the FBI, Christopher O'Leary, who's currently a senior VP for global operations at the Sufin Group. Thank you both for being here. Chris, let me begin with you. I want to know what your reaction is to now CIA employees, all of them really, being offered buyouts. Combine that with the FBI news, everyone's wondering, is this going to put Americans in danger?
Well, Laura, simple answer is yes. The combination between the FBI and the CIA, those are two of our primary agencies responsible for our national security, whether it's counterterrorism, great power competition, you name it, from head to toe. Those two organizations are what protect America along with the Department of Defense. Eroding the workforce or really getting after the morale and really empowerment of the workforce is going to have a direct impact on national security at every level. It will also have, from the FBI standpoint, a real impact on fighting crime on the streets, which is what this administration says they want to do. But FBI agents and leadership, they run those violent crime task forces around the country with state and local partners. They run the transnational organized crime task forces around the world. So really reducing their ability to do all of this is going to have a measurable effect on the crime in the United States and in the region.
I mean, I can't imagine
How many people actually trust these government agencies to do what they're supposed to do? Just a round of hands. How many people trust these government agencies to be above board, to be taking care of business, and to be doing what they're supposed to do? I don't agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not an expert on the CIA or the FBI, but historically, we don't even learn about some of the stuff that happens inside of these government agencies until decades later. Now we know that the CIA has been pouring drugs into the community and been doing some of the worst things inside of our communities on a regular basis. Okay, cool. Now we know that the FBI was a part of some of these murders and these assassinations that happened over periods of time. Cool. Now we familiar with half of this stuff, right? And I think that there needs to be an overhaul. Do I think that a lot of these agents are or agencies are doing some of the things that they're supposed to do? Probably, probably the majority of the employees, but I don't think that they ask no questions. And more importantly, if what they're saying is true on this live stream right now, if what these people over at CNN, and we can't trust CNN, so we use them as a source, but then we gather our own information or we develop our own opinion based off of outside resources along with whatever it is that they're reporting, right? Right? We gather our own opinions, we come up with our own synopsis of what's going on. If what they're reporting is true, they are reporting that they're trying to make sure and include the fact that You are loyal to the agenda that is now being assigned by the people over to the Trump administration to do what you're supposed to do, right? So a buyout, a buyout offer is this. It could be one of two things. The first thing that a buyout offer can be is it could be an opportunity to downsize an agency and to remove the people that are already at retirement age or no longer want to be there. The second thing that it does is it removes or it gives people the opportunity to leave that don't actually believe in what the Trump administration wants them to do. So if you are a loyalist to the Biden administration and you're unable to do your job effectively, now you have 8 months severance and a phenomenal resume to be able to move over to something completely different, right? They already said that they were targeting at least 5 to 10% people that take the buyout offers across all federal agencies. So if this be true, and you don't actually believe in the agenda that is assigned to the Trump administration and you don't actually align with it, then this is your opportunity to leave. If you are truly dedicated to the United States of America and doing your job the right way and is operating without having to worry about the transparency issues, then I'm pretty sure that you're not going to take the buyout offer. If this is what your dream was, if you've always wanted to work for the CIA or the FBI and you really believe in what you're doing and you really believe in this administration, I have a hard time believing that your morale is down. Why is morale up for the police officers? Why is morale up for Border Patrol? Why is everybody signing up to be ICE agents? Why is everybody signing up to deport all of these illegal migrants into this country? Everybody is enthusiastic about getting involved and participating in making sure that they're doing the thing that's in the best interest of America. Whereas in the last administration, you can see the defeat on Border Patrol agents' faces. They documented some of the things and the sentiments of what was happening with ICE agents. They hated their job. They hated the fact that they had to sit there and let people over the border, so much so to where they would cover up their faces and wouldn't even let anybody see their faces. And it wasn't for protection purposes. It was because they didn't want to be associated with the Biden administration. And so, if these people are so enthusiastic about doing the things that's best for American citizens, then they're gonna be there. And if not, then you're gonna weed out the people that's not supposed to be there because they feel entitled to have the job, but they don't feel entitled to be able to do the job. It takes a special person to step outside of how you feel and do the thing that's in the best interest of the people. That's why we give them so much appreciation. That's why we show love to police officers. That's why we show love to Border Patrol agents. That's why we say thank you to your service to our military members. They make sacrifices outside of themselves. They don't make $1 trillion, but if you truly believe in it and if you think that this is your purpose, then you're 100% in there. So I don't agree with him with my little measly opinion. I don't agree with what he's saying right now.
Having that level of turnover in an instant at this moment in time, Mark. And the big question is, suppose all these employees say, no thanks, I don't want your buyout. Does the DOJ have the legal authority to then remove these agents, remove these analysts?
Well, that's a good question. Look, the FBI has a lot of civil service protections in the normal world. I've represented FBI personnel for almost 30 years or so, maybe more now, I guess, and all the agencies. And I mean, even at the agencies where the director could actually legally remove someone without any due process, and that does exist at a number of the agencies in statute, in regulations, they don't do it. I've had one case in 30 years and I've never come across another because all the agencies have always believed in.
Did you say Trump got to go, Brown Ocean? Nah, we like what Trump is doing right now. We like what Trump is doing. We not saying that Trump got to go at all. I don't know where you from. I don't know how you feel about that. We respect people's opinions and their differences of opinion, but nah, we actually like what the Trump administration is doing right now. I don't believe Trump got to go. I believe that Trump should stay. What about you? Everybody in the chat, y'all let me know. Do y'all think that Trump has got to go because he's actually going through and making sure that people are doing what they're supposed to do? Or do you think that Trump is doing the right thing and that we want to keep him? Y'all let me know. Do y'all think that Trump got to go? Do not time her out. Do not time her out just because she got a difference of opinion. Do y'all like the fact that Trump is going through and he's auditing and research and restructuring everything that's happening in our government agencies, or do you think that Trump got to go? Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the chat.
Due process. Now, sure, when Robert Hansen got arrested by the FBI for spying for Soviet Union Russia, he didn't get due process. There's a national security exception
Looks like
to
you outnumbered,
fire
baby.
employees for something of that nature. But for working on an assigned criminal matter that was prosecuted across the United States for attacking the Capitol, and yet somehow you get fired for that with no due process. I mean, even if you just get fired for that with due process, that's just not the system we're used to, nor should we tolerate.
Well, Mark, I mean, you went from hearing about one to you may have scores, frankly, of members of these organizations who are looking for representation. You represent a number of the FBI agents already. What are they telling you about how they are feeling about the prospect of not only our security, but how vulnerable they are to being let go?
Well, I can say not just from the FBI, since obviously those buyout offers have gone to many agencies. They are demoralized. These are individuals who, for example, the lawsuit we filed today against the FBI, I think the shortest term was like 8 years of service. A couple were over 20, almost a quarter of a century. At all of the agencies, when they woke up to get an email from OPM that was, if you read it, just insulting, was basically saying, look, we don't really need you any longer. If you want to take the buyout, good riddance. And these are really dedicated public servants who are not partisan. I have no idea how they voted Republican, Democrat. They don't care either. And it is, I don't know how the government's going to function. I mean, I think that's the bottom line in these agencies. And the amount of experience that we are about to use and the extent to which that will harm American national and domestic security, you can't even actually articulate the degree. I mean, forget about whether or not your tax returns are going to be filed or processed properly, or you just name any type of institutional, your social security checks. You know how slow things go in the government in a normal time? You can imagine when there's, 10%, 20%, 30% less workforce.
Chris, I mean, just hearing.
I'll take my chances. I actually like what's going on right now. And I also like the fact that Elon Musk is moving with the speed of an Olympic sprinter.
That it makes you just, my head keeps shaking, looking to think about how this could be viewed internationally, how people would be able to share information with us, the trust in the absence, frankly, a dearth at that point of institutional knowledge, and cases that are ongoing that have nothing to do with January 6th whatsoever. You got the acting FBI director, Chris, Brian Driscoll. He has become something of a kind of hero for the FBI's rank and file. And in fact, he initially refused to give the names of the agents to the DOJ. And then he released this video today. Watch.
We will never take our eyes off of our mission, protecting the American people and upholding the Constitution. Because at the Bureau, we're focused on the work. And people we do the work with, our partners, and the people we do the work for, the American people.
You actually worked with him. How do you think he's handling what, frankly, is an unfathomable position?
So Brian is the best of us in the FBI. He's a humble professional who made an incredible reputation based on his work and his courage and his bravery and his humility. And that's all being demonstrated in front of all of us right now, along with Rob Kassane, the acting deputy director. They both have incredible operational experience. Nobody's ever heard of them before. They have not really spent much time in headquarters because they have been in the field protecting this country. Brian is doing what he would have done on any Friday when he stood up last Friday. He's being a leader. He is, carrying out justice with integrity and strength and courage. And that's what we should expect in our leaders. And he is focused on two things: the mission of the FBI and the welfare of his people. And that's what you should have in a leader. And that's what he is really demonstrating to the entire country. And he has a huge following in the FBI workforce.
Listen, I'm actually in support of everything that I've seen the president do thus far. there are some things that I am looking to understand, and I'm gonna ask those questions during this particular live stream. But I don't have any objection to what I see happening from the president right now. And I'm not sure how you guys feel, but I don't have any objection whatsoever. I think that the president is doing a great job. I think that we need to 100% support what we see happening inside of the United States of America. It's funny because nobody had any complaints whatsoever when we was talking about the Biden administration and what we seen from them. We don't even question. People, liberals never even questioned what was happening in the Biden administration. They just blindly followed. They went along. There was a go along, get along game. They didn't trip about it. They blindly followed them to the end of the earth. They allowed for 1 trillion migrants to come inside of the country, and they just rocked out. Never even tripped, never even had any kind of rejection whatsoever. They just rolled with it. They just 100% rolled with the Biden administration, and they said, you know what? We actually believe in you. And it's amazing. But now that we have a level of transparency, they saying that if you don't want to be here, then you can leave. And people are sitting here complaining about it. I don't understand it. Honest to God, I genuinely don't understand how y'all see things. I don't understand how y'all make some of the decisions that y'all make on a daily basis. I don't even know how y'all got to be the age that y'all are without any kind of pushback from what's going on inside of life. I'm so confused. Honest to God, I am genuinely confused. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is what's going on inside of the FBI and the CIA for that matter.